Kaboom.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is Amit,
And Dominic.
and this is our first episode of the new year. So, Happy New Year, I guess. I mean, by the time you guys hear this, it's probably over. It's not the first episode of New Year. Oh, we launched one earlier. The first live recording of the new year. All right, there you go. Okay. Yeah, it's been a busy week with a bunch of stuff going on. So
Got a haircut, I see.
Yeah.
About time. You don't look homeless.
Homeless is what I looked at before. That's how you describe it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a true sign of somebody jealous of flowing locks when you don't got none.
Again, I mean, we've said it 17 times on the show.
You can say
Samson-esque mane.
You can say that you were thin as well. We both know that things aren't there. You can use whatever words you want. Trump says that he's innocent. We all know the game.
I'll say it makes you look less aged.
There you go. That I will take. Talk to me, Doug. What's going on?
You tell me.
Okay,
a lot of stuff.
We just said. All right, let's start off with.
I'll do a quick one. How about a quick one?
Okay.
Something I love. I don't understand why. I've been preaching this for years. It's not really getting any press. I wanted to dig deeper into it, but evidently students in Michigan and Florida will be required to take a financial literacy course in order to graduate. That's
amazing.
It's amazing.
It's also amazing. Florida is one of those schools. I mean, one of those states. But legitimately, that's something that, like, I mean, I'll say, we didn't have one of those classes, and I think I learned, and I still don't know a whole bunch of stuff. Majority of stuff I learned was asking questions to people who had money. You know what I'm saying? Like, to your cousins, to whomever, right?
But it's even, you see, you're thinking on a higher level. It's even the basics, bro. Like, don't get yourself into debt. Know how to, the old adage of balancing your checkbook.
Yeah.
Right? Just simple things like that. I mean, I remember on campus in college, they'd wave T-shirts, a free T-shirt. Yeah, sign me up for credit card. I'll just spend it. I don't have any money to pay you on it.
I think that probably still happens. Does it still happen? It has to still happen.
It has to still happen, right? And understanding how you can leverage your credit to better your life, and conversely, how harmful the bad credit can be to your life in terms of just increased costs, lost opportunities, things of that nature.
So this is the graduate high school, is what this is for?
Graduate high school, yeah. I think it's spectacular.
Wow. That is.
I've been saying this forever. Like, this should be required here, and I think in Jamaica, hospitality courses, just educating on customer service, because tourism is such a big sector, is the big dog sector. So.
Yeah, and service
it's great news.
Is very mediocre.
I think, and then it just helps society, right? Because we have people always talk about burdens and everything. There's less stress. Guess what it will lead to? Indirectly, what it will lead to? Less crime.
Yeah, people have money. People know how to manage their
People will be less desperate, right?
It's true.
So,
no, it's true. It's true. On the converse side to that too, then you got DeSantis taking out LGBTQ, any books with reference to LGBTQ characters or references in general.
What do you mean?
Schooling system. By I think it was March 1? Where's the article? I'll pull it up in a second. That they're banning those books from included in certain grade levels. So if it references any LGBTQ characters, in essence, it can't be in the book. So the book can't be in school. So the book's got to go out.
On this.
Yeah, but what's also comedic about this is I don't know how the Bible falls into this. There's like a caveat there.
Is there stuff in the Bible?
Are you serious? There's homosexuality in the Bible, guy.
There is?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm saying yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say yes. I literally am gonna say yes.
No, I'm gonna say no.
Hold up. Is there homosexuality?
No, because Leviticus, whatever
but that's
says
one book. But there's also, I mean, bro, there's contradictions throughout the entire book, guy. But hold up, I could be
sarcastically, somebody writes, Ron DeSantis is keeping kids safe from the real threat. Learning about gay penguins. There's probably some book with.
It's just so ridiculous. I mean, it's so ridiculous when you throw the term free and then that's there. But neither here nor there. Hold up. Are there?
No, guy. How?
Homosexual references.
Is there homosexuality in the
references?
The Quran.
Hold up. Who said the Quran? I said the Bible, guy.
I mean, it's the same thing.
I mean, technically, no.
Very anti-gay.
Seven gay texts. Okay. Does the Bible oppose the author of numerous Bibles? Okay, I'm very wrong on this. Take this back completely.
Yo, I really don't understand how you thought this.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I knew they were anti it, but I mean, if you're going to be anti
Yes.
in the Bible, then you have to reference it. Is my point, right? So if
No.
you're going to then hold up. How you going to be
No,
anti?
the reference was if a man lieth with another man.
Correct, but
and
then
then
that
is
goes
like he
against,
should surely
that
be
speaks to
stoned to death or
sexuality is
something.
my point, right? How does that lay out there? The whole idea is we have to like it doesn't exist.
No, but this is the other extreme. This is saying it's horrible, it's bad, kill them. That's what the Bible is saying.
But the Bible says, okay, but the Bible is taking one side of things, right?
Yes.
And then the books have to say nothing about anything. It doesn't exist or not exist. My point is, if you're
Right,
going
but
to
they're
have
not going to prove. They're not going to prove any books that say what the Bible says. Like they're horrible, kill them. So the only thing the books
beyond
that
the
would-
Bible.
What do you mean?
So the Bible can say kill gay people,
Yes.
but then that's the only
Oh,
message
yeah,
that's
I see
allowed.
where you're going. The Bible's okay with saying that, but a character that's two dads.
Having a good positive situation, not a good thing.
Exactly.
You see my conflict here?
Yes.
With-
I don't even know about schools now. What do they do with the Bible?
You're asking me questions.
schools.
I mean, I don't know. Well, also that's in America, you're supposed to have separation of church and state. So I don't know how that plays out in general schools. But I know some people try to bring these things back. But again, that's also, taught as like the pinnacle of goodness. Meanwhile, you can stone people to death and kill people and and do everything else that's part of the game. But neither here nor there. On some interesting stuff for me. You know what CES is?
Yeah, the electronic show in Vegas.
Correct. So it's going on right now, right?
Is it second biggest show in Vegas? I think. Or third?
Yeah, it's I forget. I think Magic is pretty massive after that. But so all the new tech stuff comes out this time. This is when they start pushing things that are supposed to be the new cool stuff. For a lot of years, there's a lot of wearable stuff that I still don't understand as a market, but neither here nor there. So I was looking through some of the quote unquote cool things that are coming out of CES this year, right? Like it's only been a couple days so far, but this is what it is, right? So there's an anti-snore pillow. So the pillow the pillow senses if you're snoring, and then it like inflates an airbag to kind of turn your head so you don't snore. How crazy is that, right? But the fact that somebody's spent a lot of time doing this is also pretty interesting to me. So anti-snore thing, which is there, right? A self-driving stroller. Now,
Not risking that.
yeah,
Zero
well,
chance.
hold up.
I'll do a self-driving car. but
Hold up. There's a caveat to this, guy. All right, caveat to it. And I know everybody's like, whoa, my baby in that. Yeah, caveat to that. When the baby is in the stroller, in essence, it's a self-parking stroller. So when the baby's in the stroller, when it senses the baby in the stroller, it needs somebody to guide the stroller. When the baby's out of the stroller, it can go park itself and F off. That's kind of the game. So it's not truly, it's like a self-storing versus this, yeah.
We're paying to go park a stroller?
Yeah, so it goes, but, okay, here, I'll read it verbatim.
But where do you need to park a stroller besides
I
like
ain't got
Disney
kids,
World?
man. What do I know?
Besides Disney World, where there's 500 strollers.
So it says, it has sensors to identify when there is a baby in the carriage and requires someone to be guiding it at those times. But the high-tech pram can self-brake, use driver assist to lighten the push, and drive around babyless as needed.
So that wasn't made in America. They don't call it pram here.
Nope. This country's name is, the brand's name is, I can't even pronounce it. GLU with a couple dots over it.
See, exactly. No one knows what a pram is.
Okay. Then there's that. But here's the one that you're going to find interesting. There is a pee analysis device. So here's what. Listen. So I use Withings, right, which is my scale. It's a big brand. I think Nokia bought it or vice versa. And in essence, it syncs with your phone and all kind of BS. So this is the Withings product, and it's called the U-Scan. And the U-Scan from Withings is meant to be inserted into the toilet. And then users with good aim can pee on it. And then it collects and analyzes small samples of urine to monitor female menstruation, vitamin C levels, ketones, and other health indicators, etc. But what's interesting about this is like, in essence, a gateway to what you go to the doctor to get, a urine analysis, urine sample, all this kind of stuff. I would only assume that over time, this thing will be able to identify quite a bit of things independently of these key items I just mentioned. But the key ain't being key. But I don't know where it goes.
Yeah, what? Does it stay in the toilet?
Yeah, it's in the toilet the whole time. It's
But
like
when
one
you
of those toilet bowl
so
cleaner
when you're cleaning the
situations.
toilet, I don't know.
I haven't seen.
Too
It's like a
much.
small white thing, bro. I don't know how this plays out there. It's a small white thing. I thought that was. I thought that was an interesting, step into the future, if you will. So but my point is, a lot of these things are working. It's all the healthcare stuff.
So
whatever.
remember when CES used to be like, oh man, look at this cool TV.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go any bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, and the TVs are already thin as they come. So it's that. And the other thing that they're pushing this year, which is weird, Sony's pushing Gran Turismo. Remember that game?
Oh, I was heavy into that.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out later this year. And that's their big push. Now, why they push it at CES, I don't know. But either way, that's where they're marketing the hell out of this feature. And then, there's some other random stuff. But this is like, in essence, it's just all random gadgets that are big at CES this year versus, to your point, TVs in the past. Part of that was a bunch of wearables. There's always been stuff in the health arena, which didn't make much sense or didn't get much traction, I should say. And then this stuff. So, yeah, who'd have thunk?
Dana White.
Okay.
You know who he is?
I'm familiar. You want to tell people the story?
He's I don't know what his position is with the UFC. I remember years ago, people used to think he was the majority guy. He was the president, but he owned like 3%. Well, anyway, he runs UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was at a club or a party or something recently.
Party?
And there's
Actually, I don't remember either way, yeah.
Video of his wife, him and his wife arguing. He said something. She slapped him. He immediately slapped her back. I read he slapped her twice. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that. I read the same thing.
But he slapped her. And what's interesting is ESPN, there's essentially nothing about it being covered on the air or on the website. And the reason it normally would, because it's the head of a major organization, right? If it was a player or a fighter, we see it all the time. But you got the big boss in charge of that, and they're partners. So it's not surprising. It's just business hypocrisy, but not surprising. But what is concerning is for people within the organization, because imagine you're a female employee at the organization, right? And you see like kind of things like this is tolerated. It's upsetting. It's bothersome for them. It's the way of the world. It's just interesting still to me.
See,
hypocrisy.
This was discussed on the Dan Le Batard show ad nauseum this week, and I don't find
I haven't listened to it in 2 weeks.
Oh, literally, they've been talking about this. What you just said, that ESPN isn't covering it. Endeavor has said nothing about it. Endeavor owns the UFC, and has said nothing about it. Endeavor obviously is a massive agency, but they also have a production arm, etc. And to me, I find it interesting, primarily because this shows exactly what the hypocrisy is. So I don't find it as
it's not surprising, but it's
but this is literally what it is. And here's what I mean by that. We get quote unquote up in arms when something happens in football or whatever else. And the reality is we don't.
You mean like when if a player were to do something?
Something, whatever it is. Yeah, a player, Ray Rice or whatever, right? Okay. It's on every broadcast across sport, etc. And it's not for any. The reason that's done is the CYA. And the reason you're doing the CYA situation, right? You're looking like you care about these things, right? And primarily because you are massive across the globe and you don't want to affect your sponsors.
But remember what you just said, CYA, cover your ass and looking like you care. I want to bring that up to another subject. Just remember that. Keep going.
So it's looking like you care, right? So, and because it could affect dollars and cents on the sponsorship level, right? That's the reason the NFL cares, because the NFL's got Coke and so on and so forth, right? And like brands, actually Pepsi. But either way, you've got like traditional, like regular brands, Lay's potato chips and so on and so forth. And so this doesn't look good for those sponsors. The UFC sponsors are not Lay's potato chips. The UFC sponsors are, generally speaking, right, sponsored, and because it all comes down to money for me, right? And the money and the people who manage the money aren't, their target market is, generally speaking, unaffected, right? You're not going to not go out and buy the next, and I don't even know the sponsors are, I mean, all the sponsors, but you're not going to go out and buy the next whatever Monster Energy drink or whatever it may be, right? Like the target market, the demo, etc. I'm not saying that the people who watch UFC are wife beaters or vice versa. What I'm saying is, generally speaking, this is not something that you're gonna find a huge uproar in, right? If it wasn't, even when it's for the fighters itself, you don't hear a lot about that with the fighters in UFC as much. You hear it in boxing more than UFC, right? In the UFC game, you don't hear a lot of that stuff in general. Even the drug stuff goes under the table. You've got people who've had drug charges again and again and again and come back again and again and again because nobody cares. And they're trying to make it a big deal now, meaning they're trying to say like, oh, why isn't ESPN covering this more or whatever? Because the money doesn't change. Why would I do anything? ESPN only does it when it affects the dollars and cents. The dollars and cents are unaffected. If this dude stays as the commissioner, leaves, does whatever, the dollars are unaffected. So why cause a ruckus? The people who are watching, the sponsors who are paying, forget the watchers, the sponsors who are paying aren't going anywhere. They're not asking for anything. When the sponsors ask for a change, by all means, you'll see them talking about it. Until then, no. So this is literally what the whole thing is. It's money, plain and simple, in my view.
I'm curious. I don't know, like any transgressions by athletes in the UFC in the past for domestic abuse.
There have been some.
If there's been any ramifications.
No, but you okay. Two things to note there too. The employee and the boss are not the same. Period. You can say it however you want to say it. We're utopian world, blah blah blah. We're all equal. We're not. I think we've said this many times. We're not equal.
I think that's for a lot of things, but if certain offenses, they kind of have to be the same.
No, they don't.
Coming in late to work, being disrespectful, those kind of things. But
is this not proof enough to you? They don't.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Was there punishment for
the money?
Fighter?
Yeah, you will always do, because you got to show you're trying to appease everybody. And it doesn't hurt you to suspend your fighter for a couple fights or whatever else and come out and say, I don't want whatever else. Doesn't hurt anybody. Doesn't hurt the fighter. The fighter can come back on he's a redemption tour. Everything is positive in that situation. The fighter's getting help, so nothing gets affected, right? In this situation, nothing is going to get affected. There is no dollar effect. If there's a dollar effect, you will see change. If there's no dollar effect, you see no change, i.e. no dollar effect. So I don't know why this is surprising anybody that ESPN isn't covering it. There's no dollar effect. It doesn't matter to them, right? Why cause an issue where you could lose sponsors?
Yeah.
You feel me? Let it ride. It ain't gonna change nothing. The next UFC fight, whatever. I even remember.
Okay, so I'm looking. Right there has been suspensions.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, and
domestic violence from the UFC.
And what? Meh. Now I'll say in the flip side.
No. What I'm saying is
in the NFL,
the reaction. I'm saying the blatant hypocrisy. And you think the boss is different, but I think
that's not. I don't think. I'm saying it is. That's fact. That's not me thinking and making up something.
Okay,
that's fact.
I mean, yes, I just don't think they should be in this situation.
That's cute. No, that's very cute of you. But this was fact, right? The day that a boss and an employee are the same in almost any arena, I'm sure there's an outlier. By the way, there's always an outlier. But generally speaking, employers and employees are not the same. Employees will, if somebody's got to get fired, normally it's the employee, they get another one, right? Because they're generally expendable, because employees cost less, employees can get trained quicker, and so on and so forth. The person running the show at the top, different story. He or she is the driving force. And he gets paid more. And the people who are going to implement, people who are going to impact their lives or whatever are being paid by these individuals. And there's difference in the UFC dynamic because he's an employee of Endeavor, right? But I don't know if you're familiar with what happened in the whole Me Too movement, in the sense that within the film and TV game forever, whether it be agents, whether it be actors, directors, all the way down across the board, there were people who were predatory against women, right? And this came out. This is going on forever, and nobody said anything forever until a few years ago, right? And everybody came out saying, oh, this is appalling or whatever. Oh, my God, yada, yada. And it was a known thing, period. And right now, Endeavor, who is a company who, again, was quiet for years, and I'm using them as an example. It could be CA, it could be anybody. My point is, if it doesn't affect your dollars and cents, you don't cause a ruckus. And so you just shh and let this go away. True. And it's going to go away. Because that's the game. And this guy with his phone not on mute. Well, it's on mute, but it's vibrating. All right. So that's Dana White, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then now you can go into the conversation about about Monday Night Football. I'm assuming that's where you want. Do you want to go there as well?
Yeah, funny you knew that's where I was going.
Go ahead.
So Damar Hamlin, I'm sure, well, many people won't know the name, but I'm sure people know what happened. Monday Night Football, a player went into cardiac arrest, dropped down on the field, scary scene. He was rushed to the hospital. The game was canceled. And turns out there's some positive news. The breathing tube was removed. He can't speak yet, but he can write. And, evidently there's going to be some upside. Or it's positive news. I imagine his career is over. And what I was thinking about, it sucks about the NFL, is in order to be vested for your pension and insurance benefits and everything, you have to play a minimum of 3 games for 3 years. This was only his second year. So, though the injury wasn't football related, right? It happened during a football game, and who knows, maybe it was exacerbated by the stress of playing the game, the physical and mental stress. Right. But I wonder if the NFL will help. Let's say his career is over, if it unfortunately is over, and he has long-term complications from this, needing assistance, insurance. Is the NFL going to help? Do they care? Right.
Okay, first of all, you know the answer.
Remember, this is the same league that it was exposed a couple years ago, 2 years ago, that they were denying benefits to black players.
You're answering your own question.
On the basis of black people have a lower cognitive basis level. So when they were testing the white players and they said, oh, okay, yeah, it seems you're different now than when you started playing. But the black people, they weren't, because they were race norming, bringing down the level for black people. Essentially saying black people are dumber than white people. So therefore, they're not entitled to compensation.
But as you just pointed out, but you answer your own question. Does the NFL care?
I think they all pretended to care.
Yes.
I think, they had to stop the game. They had to cancel it. But in the conference rooms and when they're scrambling, they're like, this is a nightmare. We feel bad for the guy, but
no, they don't. No, hold up. No, see, take that
millions
last statement out of your mouth.
No. Listen, some people feel bad.
No, that's not.
and the same thing is, you're like me, where it's like I watch it and I feel bad, but he's no different than if I were to hear in the news, oh, this person had a heart attack, and my reaction, it's like, oh, that sucks. Okay, move on, because he's no different of a human being than the person, random Joe Schmo.
Correct. So, all right, let's do it in a couple of ways. Your question was, will the NFL, change the dynamic to take care of this person, right, outside of there? The fact of the matter is, they probably won't on its surface.
I think they won't. I think the team probably would.
Fine. They won't, because they can't. Because if they open that can of worms,
Pandora's box.
They can't do it because of the union. Now that means the union should.
But I think that's convenient for them, so they don't even have to. Because
it's
I don't
true.
think
right. But the union should do better, right? The union that's part of the union negotiation, right? That's not all in the NFL. There's a player union, a player association for this who does this negotiation. And if you're gonna cheapen your situation, that's on you. So that's one thing. The other thing is, this is an outlying scenario, completely crazy one-off scenario. Not one-off. Well, yeah, I guess it hasn't happened before, so it technically is a one-off. So maybe in this case, they'll do something because of whatever, right? But again, you can't open that, because if you open that Pandora's box, there's a bunch of stuff that comes in there. So then the question now becomes, how do you address this going forward? And the reality is, it's going to have to be the team. If the team wants to be noble, quote unquote, right, to do so. But it's purely on the team, and it's purely voluntary, and it won't do anything with the NFL because they can't do anything about it, right? Because you can't open that Pandora's box, right? And then what's interesting about the other part you said, right? You heard about the whole Skip Bayless dynamic, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that, on his tweet? In essence, he tweeted after the game, he goes, I'm paraphrasing, but something to the effect of, wow, this is quite the nightmare, and we feel bad, but the NFL can't, and I'm paraphrasing again, the NFL can't stop this game, or the NFL can't not play this game, because what happens to everything, the whole season, it's an important game, because it was the last game of the regular season.
No, it wasn't the last game of the regular season.
Sorry, pardon me, the last game of that week. But you
Last
can't.
game, yeah, it had major playoff implications.
Correct.
Yeah, so it
But it's not just playoff implications. Realize that it's playoff implications. It's money. It's betting. It's all these things that the NFL has and arm in and money in, as I've just said. So all these things affect it.
Yeah. So
Right.
here's what he said. No
Okay.
doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. This was during the game. It was a scary scene. The guy almost died. You had players bawling their eyes out. Like, it was surreal. So he said, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant.
Okay. Completely
I
benign.
don't really have anything wrong.
People are up in arms because people were like, oh, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Not the right time. And I hate that statement, by the way, the not the right time statement, because all that means is I'm going to placate you, but I, in essence, and not say what I'm thinking, but say it 2 days later and it's okay. Because there is no right. What's the right time? 2 hours, 2 days,
18
2
hours?
weeks?
Yeah.
What's the right time? There's no finite amount of time. So if the man had said it today and this thing happened on Monday, would it have been okay?
Yeah. Plus, I mean, he did finish it with suddenly seems so irrelevant.
Yeah, but
right?
also
Which
doesn't matter because but the reality is
no. What happens with him though is he's a piece of shit.
no valid. But so he's getting hit more because of
like
who he is.
If like a Kanye or a Trump say certain thing versus someone
Correct.
else.
No, you're right. He's
right?
getting a lot of it because of who he is, not because
he's
of,
a horrible human
Yes.
being, right?
Yes.
So it's magnified.
He's all about clickbait, right?
He's- yeah.
And this whole business is based on that. He makes a lot of money based on that. So that's the concept.
he's a co-host on Fox Sports, and I don't know if you saw what happened the next day with Shannon Sharpe. Well, Shannon didn't show up the next day. People said because Shannon was pissed off with him. But then 2 days after that tweet, they got on there and they got into a little heated thing about it. Yeah, we'll see. NFL hypocrisy.
But no, what's hypocrisy? I'm confused by it. What's hypocrisy?
No, not this. Just in general.
Oh, I was gonna say the NFL is actually,
they don't care about it.
doing their things right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that, right? So to your point, but this caused a huge uproar, and I don't see the uproar because the man said what literally an entire room of people or an entire community of people within the NFL were thinking at that very time. What do we do about the next game? Because that's all they think about is the business side, right? Because that's what they have to. That's what they're paid to do. That's not like they're robots. That's what you're paid to do.
Well,
and they got to figure out the next thing.
So he's the receiver that Damar Hamlin. What happened was Damar Hamlin tackled him, T. Higgins. Then Damar stood up, and it looked like he just fainted. He fell over. I don't know. He just fell over. So evidently, a lot of people are, social media attacking T. Higgins like it was his fault. So
First of all you people try like these kind of people who just want to blame somebody immediately. You know what I'm saying? So there's two people that I don't like. Actually, there's a lot of people I don't like, but people want to blame somebody immediately for something like that when it just happened, right? Why? Like, why'd you need to impact blame on this situation? As if the dude was going after maliciously trying
makes
to do
them
this.
feel better, Puff.
But why? Why do you feel better tearing somebody down? That's one thing. The other part of the people who that's one. The other one is everybody's a doctor. And those people I don't like at all. Everybody's like, oh, my doctor friend said this is the situation, or my so-and-so said this is the situation. This is what's happening, whatever else. I don't need an immediate diagnosis, guy. I'm good. How about we just let this ride out and I'll find out when things happen from the real doctors who are actually seeing this person versus TV, Monday morning quarterback person. Like, I don't need an immediate, thing from John Doe, who I don't know.
It was usually just opinions, right? Where people were saying it's either heart attack or stroke.
No, but people are getting into it going, oh, based on the way this went down, this was this medical thing, and he's got a 1% chance of living and this, that, whatever. Shut up. It doesn't matter. Like, what? So what? Do I feel better because you gave me that notification now when I'm still got to wait just like everybody else to see if this man recovers or not? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that particular thought process doesn't matter. It gives nobody any comfort. There's nothing. It's just a look at me Louie dynamic. Like, literally, just look at me. Guess what? I just found out. Who cares? Like, who legitimately cares? And it bothered me because I saw so much of this stuff. Like, oh, based on this on the internet and YouTube, this related to this. And on the flip side, oh my God, this is COVID vaccine related. Okay, it's not COVID vaccine related. How about you shut the F up and just let it ride out? Because none of y'all are doctors. None of y'all are on the field. None of y'all doing anything. You guys saw it the same way I did. Right? Or you saw it on YouTube, which is literally how I saw it.
I was about to say, you didn't. There's zero chance in hell you saw it live.
No,
Zero.
I don't watch these games. No. That's why, like, our friend texted going, yo, And I literally looked at my phone and I saw the score was 7-3. And I was like, why do I care? He's like, bro, somebody's out on the field. And then I had to go Google it because they weren't playing it, which is good. And I had to Google it to find the YouTube video. And it was like, whoa, it looked very benign to your point. But my point is, why does everybody need to be a doctor immediately? Because you're not. And I don't need the information that quickly. Because it's not even information. That's all conjecture. So you've done nothing but spawn a conversation about nothingness.
And it caused a lot of controversy in the fantasy football league.
Well, now they're not playing the game, I heard.
They're not.
Yeah. So I don't know how this plays out for you guys.
I had the greatest team ever. I was going up against Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. And there's a lot of controversy about who becomes champion. Yeah.
See, it all comes down to the selfish natures of people.
Well, what I was saying is that guy, the receiver, Damar Hamlin's mom called him. You know, that was very nice of her. And I saw in an interview this morning where he said, listen, at the end of the day, we have to move on. We're professional athletes and this is our job. And I'm thinking to myself, he's completely right. But I don't know how well received that's going to be. Like he's saying that, you know, that he's like, he said, listen, you know, you and me, but he wouldn't say this, but he's like, listen, we got to continue to pray for him, pray for his well-being. But we have to move on to do our job.
There was nothing you can do.
Which is all true. And I agree that I just don't know how I can imagine him getting some backlash for that.
Oh, completely. Completely. You know? Right. But to your point, I don't think it should be something that we need to concern ourselves with, meaning worried about the backlash, because what are you going to do? Right. Because now you're just not saying things to placate somebody else when it is the truth. And if it is the truth, then we got to say it.
And speaking of backlash, I have a friend who posted something on social media the other day that disgusted me. He posted about his desire to have Nutella covered Pringles.
That guy is amazing.
I mean,
first of all, do you not like Nutella?
I mean, I would bathe in Nutella if I could. Nutella is the greatest thing.
That just made Nutella
ever.
very gross. I've never thought of Nutella in negative terms. So right now,
I'd rub it all over my body and lick it off.
That's so nasty. No, but
to me, there's nothing better than Nutella.
You wouldn't try Nutella, like Nutella and a Pringle, like the salt.
Hell no! First of all, Pringles suck.
Get out of here! Pringles suck. Pringles are a good.
I remember growing up as a kid that can and like, what is the weird shape, the taste, it was a horrible. Any flavor is just horrible.
You're ridiculous. What's your go-to chip? And don't say some Whole Foods ass whatever, man.
No. Siete Brands does make a
Get
great.
Get the F out of here. I don't even know what that even is, man.
Siete Brands makes an amazing. But listen. I mean, if you want to go good chip, the old school Doritos nacho cheese.
Okay,
old school Doritos nacho cheese.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's fine.
It's still classic and great.
But it's not a dippable chip. You can't do anything with that.
Dippable chip. You got to go Siete Brands. First of all, Pringles, the integrity is not a dippable chip.
That's a good point.
You put it in there, it'll break.
Yeah, it'll crack.
So it's not a dip.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. It can be used that way,
but why waste the Nutella with the chip?
Because you get the savory and the salty. We haven't had it yet, by the way. We got to try it before you go.
Never.
Berating
what I like is Nutella comes in these small little packs
and
with the dipping sticks, like a pretzel type stick. That's legit.
I feel like you just spoon out. I feel like you don't even use them. Stick. Your finger just in the Nutella.
Yeah, no, that finger's gone in there.
Friggin' moron. Friggin' moron. Sorry to cut this short today, but I got to jump. Life is calling. But we will chat soon,
Be well,
everybody.
justice over order. Eat better. Yeah.
All right. Enjoy the new year all. We will chat soon.
Cool.